out here being reunited with my family. I'm involved in the church now. I get to see my little brother preach. I'm starting to preach now, and God's just bringing us up and raising us and keeping us in the church. Thank you.
My name is Rosalie, and like they said, we've been in the ministry for going on 11 years, and I just want to thank God for my salvation and what God did in my life. As a young girl, I knew of God. As a young girl, I knew I tasted God. Growing up, I had family that was in the ministry, so I kind of grew up with the ministry of Victory Outreach. And I remember that when I was in California, I was lost and I was bound, I was hopeless. I grew up in a single-parent home, and I grew up seeing my family doing a lot of different things. As a young girl, I remember seeing our house be raided because my mom and them were involved in heroin. Seeing my uncles overdose inside our bathrooms as a young girl.